After watching AEW's Grand Slam Australia this past weekend, I have one statement. AEW does ladder matches better than current day WWE. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Screw Script. I'm your host, as always, Maverick here. Thanks for joining me this Monday night. Let's get right into the statement and the claim that I made. AEW does ladder matches better than current day WWE. Well, let's bring up the Grand Slam Australia card. If you look at it right here, we had a fantastic show, 2.5 hours. It's likely better than anything we're going to see in the next few months or so from WWE. That's including WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is not doing well with ticket sales by their standards, and it really doesn't have much build in many matches that I'm going to really care for. Whereas Grand Slam Australia did fantastic. You had Moxley and Takeshita for the Continental Championship, I believe was the first match to kick it off. It went to a draw. The crowd loved it. They wanted more. Jon Moxley called an audible at the end. He actually walked up to the ref and must have said something about, the finish. Everybody was just, the life was sucked out of them because they wanted more. AEW leaves you wanting more with their pay-per-view matches. And this wasn't even a pay-per-view match, and they still left you wanting more. And so Moxley deserves a lot of credit here, and so does the referee that was involved, because you can tell that they called an audible. They had them kind of square up after the fact, and then Takeshita hitting him with a Falcon Arrow or whatever it was, to kind of just finish the end of that match. We know it's going to probably go further than this. I would like to see them have another match, maybe at Revolution in March, and maybe that's where Moxley drops the title and then gets back into the world title picture as a face. Then I believe it was the Babes of Wrath defending the tag titles against Megabad. This was an okay match, but we saw a debut at the end of this, which looked to be very impressive for AEW. Lena Cross is All Elite, and we actually didn't see them on the card, but there was actually the Inspiration, formerly known as the Iconics in WWE. The Inspiration was their TNA tag team name. They are now All Elite, so there's also that. They are stacking the women's division ever since they came out with the women's tag titles. Between AEW and ROH, I really feel like Tony Khan has something big up his sleeve this year of 2026. He just keeps adding and adding and adding to the roster. I genuinely think he wants to make ROH the competitor for, let's say TNA, for examples, because those are two big signings, well, three technically because of a tag team, for the women's division. Then after that, we saw, I believe it was Hangman Adam Page and Andrade. The winner got the AEW World Championship match at Revolution. This was my second favorite match of the night. It was fucking beautiful. Andrade is getting such a damn good push in 2026 after returning to AEW after all that bullshit that went on with WWE. Beast Mortos, I think it was, that helped him with that. How funny is that? AEW is beating WWE in the ring and in the courtroom. Andrade looked like a star. He didn't win. Hangman did come out on top. That is one small drawback, one little nitpick of the show. I really think Andrade should have went over here, because now we're just seeing Hangman versus MJF again for the title, which, I'm sure it'll be great. But I kind of want to move past that, which is something that was done later on in this show, which I'll get to in a few moments with another feud. But nonetheless, a really, really good match, and like I said, it was my second favorite on the card. Then you had the mixed tornado tag match, hair versus hair. We saw Wheeler Yuta get his head shaved. This was the most predictable match, but nonetheless, extremely entertaining. Honestly, I think he looks better as a, with the buzzed look with the beard. I think it'll make him look much more menacing for the Death Riders. We saw Moxley come back out and force him to get back to the ring when he was trying to dodge getting his head shaved. And you totally saw Moxley break character. He was definitely smirking at one point. Absolutely hilarious. Then my favorite match of the night. And going on to my claim as to why AEW does ladder matches better than WWE was this match. Fletcher Briscoe 7. Ladder match, Game 7 sort of scenario. Fletcher comes out on top, and it was, I believe, the second or third highest ranked ladder match in AEW's history. It was superb. It was a ladder match that I'm going to want to rewatch over and over again, much like the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros from all the way back in, I think, 2019. And then there's a couple of others there that are as good as this one. And then you had MJF versus Brody King. MJF comes out on top. But I honestly feel like the main event was overshadowed by the ladder match, going back to that claim. And I've got some, resources to show you guys. Not only is this an opinion of mine, but based off of cage match votes, which I'll show it up here, you have, unanimous votes that decide this is actually a really, really good cage match, actually dating back to many, many years ago for WWE. As you see up here on Cage Match, it was the highest rated match. It got a 8.30 with 213 votes. Only a 16-minute match, but it did everything you needed a ladder match to do. It wasn't drawn out. It didn't have 10-minute long entrances before the match actually started. They had their quick entrances, and the match just went 0 to 100 really quick. Whereas now here's the proof as to why, the backing to my claim. Not only is this opinion based, like I said a minute ago, but here's some numbers for you. The last ladder matches we saw in WWE, I believe, were Money in the Bank back in July of 2025. That show overall only got a 6.19. Look at the ladder match ratings. Both the men's and the women's lower than Fletcher Briscoe. Then you had another one that happened kind of recently, the NXT Women's North American title ladder match, also lower. That only got a 7.42. That was at like Stand and Deliver or something like that back in 2025. And now, let's look at historic. Those are all of the ladder matches in AEW's history. Short history, yes, only going back to 2019, and there has been 18 of them. This one was a top 5 rated ladder match. It was 5th overall. There's only 4 matches of the 18 that was ranked higher than this Fletcher-Briscoe match. Kyle Fletcher is the fucking future of pro wrestling. Not even of AEW. I've claimed in my last video, I think he is the best wrestler under the age of 30. Now, MJF is still just shy of turning 30. He's still technically under 30, but actual wrestling, I'm going to give it to Kyle Fletcher. Promo work, easily MJF. I think MJF is the best on the mic, period. Not even doing an under 30 thing, just overall, nobody can touch MJF on the mic. But right now, I personally think nobody can touch Kyle Fletcher in the ring when it comes to pro wrestling matches. And you see right there, 5th highest ever ranked ladder match in AEW's history of 18. And now let's compare it to WWE's history of ladder matches. I screenshotted going all the way back to just before the PG era started. The last really, really, really good ladder match was all the way back in 2018, the glory years of NXT Black and Gold, which I've claimed on this channel before. That was the best pro wrestling WWE has put out in the last decade, and I'm standing by it, and there's proof in that right there. Do you guys remember that NXT North American ladder match with Adam Cole, EC3, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and Velveteen Dream? That group of guys have not aged the best. 2 of them, I should say, mentioned there. But it was a fucking great match. I remember how good that match was. WWE, if you look at that list, hasn't had a ladder match ranked higher than the one we just saw this past Saturday in 6 years, dating all the way back to 2020 with AJ Styles. And that's AJ Styles. He can make pretty much any damn match good. He's not in WWE anymore. He's retired. So this kind of is just like a whole lump sum of issues that WWE has, where they don't do ladder matches well anymore. And the last guy that had a ladder match better than the one that we just saw this past Saturday is now gone from WWE. PG Product makes ladder matches ceiling much lower than TV14. And you can argue all day and night with me on that. I stand by it. I think TV14 makes any stipulation match better because let's be honest. Adult men hitting each other at ladders with chairs, tables, kendo sticks, all sorts of things, they're going to bleed. The fact that they don't in WWE suspends a lot of realism. It's really hard to get past, and it just has such a low ceiling. They can't create young stars to put in these ladder matches that get this good of ratings. We're going back to that. So not only do I think PG holds them back, I think AEW is doing better with the younger stars. I think they do better with stipulation matches. I think they do better with pay-per-views versus PLEs. I mean, the list goes on. And this is all supporting reasons why I truly feel like AEW does ladder matches a hell of a lot better than WWE in recent years. Current WWE, I don't think we'll see a great ladder match by them for a very long time unless they truly change pretty much every aspect of what's going on in that company right now. TKO is just making WWE feel lifeless. I think WWE could really, really benefit by bringing back the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania. Those were some of the best ladder matches ever. And I really think having it be a PLE really kind of lowers the stakes and doesn't make it seem as special as when you do it on the grandest stage of them all, their biggest show of all, WrestleMania. That's all I had in this episode of Screw to Script. No news on this video. I just wanted to talk strictly about Grand Slam Australia and my claim about AEW doing ladder matches better than current WWE. Let me know if you agree with everything that I mentioned in this video down below in the comments. And you know what? Fun question here. Let me know what is your favorite AEW ladder match in history. There's only 18 to pick from. And then, if you can think back, what is your favorite all-time WWE ladder match? For me, closing out this video, I'm going to say a good one was Jericho, Shawn Michaels from right before the PG era. I want to say it was late 2007, very early 2008 before they switched to PG. Obviously, you got Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. You've got WrestleMania 17 TLC, if you want to count that as a ladder match. If you don't, that's fine. Then I'm going to go with those first two mentioned. As always, this has been Maverick with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.